Hi everyone, good morning. So yesterday we have seen authentication codes and also we completed injection ply attack or OS top 10 attacks investigation. So today we can continue Windows logon types and also I will show you, I uploaded one of the material just now. So in that material total it contains 80 pages. In that 80 pages, what exactly you have to go through for the interview point of view and also what exactly how to study. That material contains even correlation rules also. Okay. Additionally, I will create one more sheet for correlation rules that we can discuss maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay. So that is the agenda for today meeting. Windows logon types. So Windows logon types, why we will use. So to log into the respective system. So that system may be either server or laptop or MacBook or workstation, whatever it may be. So it's a dedicated applicable to Windows only, not applicable to other operating systems. So it's a most of the cases Microsoft operating systems. Okay. So this logon, it's not about only successful, even it is a failure as well. It's a combination of both. It's a applicable to successful as well as failure of the respective logon or login. So there are different types basically. We know only one logon type. That is regularly whatever we are trying to log in. So once you are switching on your laptop or MacBook, so we will enter the username and password. So finally we will click on login button and we will log into the system. So that is the only one logon we know, but there are different types we have. So that different types we can discuss. It is one of the interview question as well. Okay. So normally whenever you are integrating Active Directory logs, these logon type as well, it will provided, whether it is a type 2 or type 3 or type 4 or type 9 or type 10 and so on. Okay, what you know about these logon types? First of all, what is type number, and also what is the type name, and what is the description of the respective each and every logon type. Okay, so that we can discuss. First one is a type 2. See, type 1 is not existing, and also type 8 or 9 is not existing. So it is started with the type 2. So we can start with type 2. So first one is interactive logon. So where we can see all these different types of logons, normally we can see in the Active Directory. So there are two different types of Active Directory. If it is on-premise Active Directory, that is called as a normal Active Directory. That one we can build on top of the Windows Server, or even we discussed about one more product is called Infoblox, right? So these two are possible. Otherwise, even we can use Azure Active Directory. These two are very popular right now. One is on-premise Active Directory. So nothing but one physical server, Windows Server. That server we can configure as a Windows Server. So on top of the Windows Server, Active Directory software we will install, and according to respective companies, Active Directory groups we will create. So in that Active Directory groups, we will come to know that directory of the end users, directory of the systems, directory of the servers, and so on. So that is about Active Directory on the on-premise level. So nowadays, cloud is becoming very popular. So in the cloud level, Microsoft Azure Active Directory is a popular one. So it is applicable to even cloud as well as in the on-premise also. Okay. So all these logon types normally we will see in the Active Directory. Okay. Once we are integrating this Active Directory or domain controller logs, you know already what is the difference between Active Directory and domain controller. So the Active Directory is a directory of the systems or users or computers or servers information. So on the other hand, domain control is centralized authentication and authorization server. It will run on top of the Active Directory. Okay. So that is about Active Directory and domain controller. So coming back, so these logon types normally how we can see and where we can see in the Active Directory we can see. Once we are integrating these Active Directory or domain control logs to the SIEM tool, so respect to logon type also we can see, and type number we can see whether it is a successful or failure. So that information we can see it's a part of log analysis because we are integrating the domain controller logs using the collector agent method. So that is about overall introduction part. Okay. So once again, as I said, this logon types is not only applicable to just a successful logon, even it is applicable to failure attempt as well. Okay. So first one is a type 2 logon type 2. So the type 2 name, we will call it as a interactive logon. So what is this interactive logon? It is a basically normal console computer logon type. When you say normal console computer logon type, meaning here, you are regularly how you are entering the username and password. So that is called interactive logon. So most of our Windows event ID 4625 and 4624 is belongs to this logon type only. Because once you are switching on either desktop or maybe laptop or maybe even workstation related to dedicated to Microsoft operating systems only. So we will enter the username and password. So maybe either it will successful or maybe either it will failure, right? So that interactive logon type is called interactive. So sorry, the type of logon is called as a interactive. It's a normal console computer logon type is called as interactive. Console of a computer logon type. So that is the first one. As I said, most of the logon types are interactive only. Okay. So second category, we will do like a non-interactive. When you say non-interactive, remaining whatever we are going to discuss. So that may be network logon type, that may be batch logon, that may be service logon, that is cron jobs logon, that is remote desktop logon. All these are completely like a non-interactive logon types. So next one is a network. So it's a type 3. So logon type name is network logon. So this network logon through either LAN or maybe through Wi-Fi also, this is possible. So in this logon types normally, so how we can do this one? If you give the access to the printers, example from your system, you given one of the printer. So nothing but you given one of the printout. So in that case, how that printout will occur? So that is one type of logon type. So this is also will use IIS server. IIS server is applicable. It's a part of Windows Server. So it's a Internet Information Service. IIS means Internet Information Service. It's a part of Windows Server. Okay. So basically in this Windows servers, this is one logon type. So it will use IIS logons also. Internet Information Services logon. It's applicable to Windows Server. Windows also, whatever Microsoft operating system we are using, that one only it is applicable. Okay. So it will provide the basic authentication, basically nothing but username and password. So this logon occurs whenever access remote file sharing, nothing but you are sharing one file to other systems, and also you are giving one printout. That is also possible. And also additionally, even if you are logging to the respect to IIS server, so using a basic authentication mechanism, this logon type work out. Why? Because you are logging into the network, sorry, your system, you are logging. From there, you are giving a network access. So network access to other printouts. So that is possible. And also even you are sharing a file system from your system to the other systems. That is also possible. So these are all the examples of the network logon type. So we will use a LAN connection. In case you are connecting to remotely, nothing but through virtual private network in that scenario. So we will use VPN. After connecting VPN, so then we can go and we can give the file access to other system. So example, if we access file server from your system, in that scenario, whatever type you are logging, that is called network logon. Okay. So how we can define this one? When the user access remote file shares or printers, and also even this is applicable to log on to IIS server using basic authentication. Okay. So first you can log into your system. From there, you are sharing either files to other system or maybe in the on-premise location. If you are giving the printer or printout, in that scenario, even you are sharing the files as well to other system. So that is called network logon, because in the local area network, you are doing all these access or you are doing all these actions. So that's why this is called network logon. Okay. So when, for suppose you given one of the printout or you given one of the file access in that scenario, so these backend, so we have different types of Windows logon, Windows logs. One is auditing related logs, configuration related logs, system related logs, and application related logs. So this one is a part of audit related logs. So then backend Windows logon type will generate nothing but network logon with the type 3 it will generate. So when it will generate, whenever you are giving the printout option and file sharing, and also even when you are trying to access the IIS server within the local area network. So that is called type 3. So next one is type 4. So type 4 is called as a batch logon. So batch logon meaning here scheduling the task. So scheduling this task meaning here, so as I said yesterday also, cron jobs. So here patch updates we will use in this scenario. So whoever is a scheduler, he is providing these service starts or scheduling the task or patch updates and so on. So he will create one service account. So from that service account, he will log on and he will push the patch updates to the all other systems and he will take care of the patch updates. So which is the server normally will do the patch updates? What is the server name? To send the multiple, either tool name. Can you provide one of the tool name or patch updates can be used by the most of the organizations? Anyone? Example. So maybe 1 lakh servers are, some 1 lakh end user systems are there. If you want to do the patch updates, which server or so which tool we will use? Anyone? If you want to do the patch updates for 1 lakh machines, so Windows patch updates, so which tool or which server we will use? Anyone? We discussed already.
What?
Sorry?
In my organization, for Windows, Altis they are using. For Linux, they are using the system manager for patching.
Sorry, could you please repeat?
In my organization, for Windows patching, they are using Altis tool.
Atris tool, okay.
And Linux, for they are using SUSE manager.
Okay, SUSE manager and Atrix. So what are we discussed in the class? SCCM, Server Center Configuration Manager. Okay, and also IBM BigFix. Okay, even Kaseya is one of the tool is there. So these are all the couple of tools are available. So SCCM, when did we discuss? So if you want to do the antivirus agent updates multiple systems at a time. Okay, even SCCM can be used as a for patch updates also. So Atrix is one thing, just now he said, and also IBM BigFix for it's one of the very popular tool. Okay, IBM BigFix, Kaseya also one of the very popular tool. So these are all the couple of tiles we will use for patch updates. Okay, so whenever we are doing, forget about Linux because we are discussing about only Windows now. So batch logon is applicable to scheduled task. When you say scheduled task, most of the cases, patch updates or any configurations if you want to do. So in that scenario, as I said, one of the dedicated service account we will configure. From that service account, so and so date and time. So we have to schedule the task. Okay, so or we have to schedule the updates. So automatically these updates will happen. Okay, they will push those updates to the respect to all the end user machines. That is called batch logon. So this is used schedule task or also patch updates. So that is about type 4 batch logon. So next one is service logon type 5. So when this one we will use, as I said, even role-based access control, when we discussed, I think 2 or 3 days back, okay, for servers side. So there are different types of accounts normally we will configure. One is admin account, one is service account, one is user account. So integrity basically sudo account or maybe root account and so on. So these are all the couple of accounts normally we will create any server level. So why we have to create user level and server level or service account level or maybe even root or admin level, anyone? Why we have to create different types of user accounts and service accounts or admin accounts or maybe super admin accounts in the servers? Anyone? So example, maybe we are creating in server level user names called as Suresh, Mahesh, Naresh, and so on. Why we have to create each and every individual server user? Why can't we use a common username and password?
For identification purpose.
Yes, for traceability. This is called tracing. So if you're using common username and password, if something got compromised, okay, we are not sure who has done what. So maybe the blame game will happen, right? So if you are using a common username and password for every account. So example, as said, Mahesh and Suresh and Naresh has a common username and password they are using. If they are using common username password, maybe Mahesh has done some deleting or updating or modify something in the server level. So Mahesh will say, I did not log in. So he will blame it, even though he has done. So that's why for traceability and integrity or identification of the who has done what, identity purpose, we will use these dedicated accounts that is called role-based access control. That's what I told you. So based on the role and based on the job roles and responsibilities, we have to provide the user accounts also. But these service accounts and batch accounts will be used by most of the cases admin people only. So nothing but whenever they want to do some configurations, okay, related to service like automatic restarts, that time we will use this batch logon and service logon. So service logon mainly we will use so services and also service accounts that log on starting of the service. Couple of times example in the Windows machine, so that maybe our antivirus agent is completely stopping. So we have to restart that particular service. Maybe other services are stopping. Okay, so we have to use this service logon. Mainly why we will use this service logon? To start the or stop the services, we will use this service logon. Batch logon is completely for the scheduling the task as well as the patch updates. Okay, one dedicated service account we will create and we will log using that particular username and password. Then we can do the starting of the service and stopping of the service. Stopping of the service or killing of the service when we will do whenever any abnormal activity or malicious malwares are installed on the respective Windows servers or maybe Windows laptops. Okay, so that is about service logon. This is used for services and services and service account that log on to service restart or stop. So that is about service account. So next one is unlock. So type 7. So type 6 is not available. Type 7. Unlock. So unlock. So basically account lockout policies will be applied for every company to mitigate brute force or password spray or dictionary kind of attacks. In that scenario, maybe if any user is trying to do more than 3 attempts, example, maybe 3 attempts is our account lockout policy, meaning whenever the user is trying to access more than 3 attempts, entering the username and password is wrong, automatically account will be locked out. So that is the policy normally we will create. So why we have to create these type of policies? Whenever attacker is trying to do different types of attacks like a brute force or password spray or dictionary, any authentication failure category of the attacks, we will use this particular account lockout policy. Okay, even we can see regularly also, couple of times you are entering more than 5 attempts, that is basically security best practices. If more than 5 attempts you are doing any account logon, automatically it will be locked out. So if you want to unlock in that scenario, what will you do? Anyone? For unlocking the Windows machine, what will you do?
And
Admin people.
For okay, example, maybe you are working in so and so company. So unfortunately, maybe because of the human error or a typo error or password error, so that account is locked out automatically. This will happen to everybody in everybody's regular life. So what you will do in that scenario?
contact to admin team.
Yeah, contact to admin team or help desk team or service desk team. They will reset the password. So resetting the password and they will provide to you. Okay. So that is whatever by default password they provided to you. So then we using the default password, we will log in. After that, we have to change our password. So this is what normally we will do. Okay. So in case your machine is logged, in case your machine is completely locked out, in that scenario, always you should have the toll-free number to contact the help desk team or service desk team. All these things normally they will discuss in the induction training. So you have to note all those toll-free number or corporate IT contact number or service desk number, help desk number, and so on. Please remember this one. So that's why normally they will conduct this induction training. So it's not about only just IT related training or sessions. Even they will discuss about finance oriented, HR oriented policies and so on. They will discuss in the induction training. Okay, so you have to note all these things. So coming back, unlock, why we have to use this one? This is used to unlock Windows machine. Next one is a type 8. It is a network clear-text logon. So example, we discussed about SNMP version 1, version 2, and version 3. So version 1, what is the difference between version 1, version 2, and version 3 of SNMP? Version 1, version 2, and version 3, differences of SNMP. What is SNMP protocol? What is the port number of SNMP?
161, sir.
What is the full name?
Simple Network Management
Simple
Protocol.
network management protocol.
So what it will do?
Network management.
Managing all network devices.
Yeah, so discovery as well as managing of all the network devices, mainly for discovery purpose. In our organization level, our data center or our site, whatever devices are there, including routers, switches, printers, Windows machines, servers, and so on. So we have to enable this SNMP. Normally, this SNMP we will enable in the router or switch. So there are three different types of SNMP version. SNMP version 1, version 2, and also version 3, latest one. SNMP version 1 and SNMP version 2, it will use a clear text. So nothing but it will not use encrypted username and password whenever it is traversal in the at transit level. Nothing but it is not encrypted password basically. So, but on the other hand, SNMP version 3 is encrypted password. That is the main difference between SNMP version 1, version 2, and version 3. Okay. Network clear text logon meaning here. So without any encryption, whatever username and password we are using, that is called network clear text. Example, you are logging and you are sending your username and password within the clear text or a network. When you say over a network, it is a data at a transit level. So data at a rest and data at a transit level. So data at a rest meaning example, data at a encryption, like a disk encryption and database encryption. But data at a transit level meaning here, whenever you are trying to access any websites or application, or maybe through RDP connections, or maybe through sending an email, so or maybe accessing the cloud, all these are called data at a transit level. Okay, so this is applicable to, so when you are sending the username and password at a transit level, nothing but so through network. So that time it is applicable to that without any encryption. Okay. Example, whenever you are doing the basic authentication, that is we discussed already, part of type 3, nothing but network logon, even IIS server. So it will use a basic authentication. Basic authentication is not a encrypted one. If you are using basic authentication, even if it is to our server and also application, it's a dangerous one. Nothing but it will use HTTP, not HTTPS. Okay. So whenever we are doing pen test, we'll identify whether they are using the basic authentication or maybe they are using a secured way of authentication. So basic authentication is not recommended, not recommended. So even VPN also. So VPN will use a encrypted one. Okay. So that is about a network clear text logon. So how we can say this one? This is used when we log on over a network and the passwords are sending in. Sorry, sending in. Password sent in, otherwise in the clear text. So that is about the network clear text logon. So nothing but clear text username and password. So next one is a new credentials, that is type 9. New credentials. So new credentials logon. So this one is run on application using the run as a command and also specify the /net only. And whenever we are using first initially, example, otherwise you are onboarding in a company. So first by default, one of the password they will call. By default, they will give one of the username and password. That is like a new credentials. Understood? So once you are accessing your laptop, immediately we have to change what are by default passwords or new credentials they provide. So this is example. Okay. So initially whatever provided new credentials, that is applicable to as a type 9, but the default passwords are newly credentials password. So we have to change once it is I mean, once you are logged into your system. Okay, so that is about new credentials. So even we will use other logon credentials as well. So nothing but run as a command we will provide and we will log into the system. So this is applicable to most of the cases you are onboarding in a company and you are getting a laptop and you are logging into system. So that is case, this will use a new credentials logon. But after log into your system, immediately we have to change the default passwords. Otherwise, so attacker maybe will use a password spray type of attacks. Okay. So this is used when the user is accessing the Windows machine first time using default passwords. Okay, so that is about new credentials. Type 9 is a subset of type 2 because it's a normal logon type also. So next one is a type 10. It is a remote interactive logon. So remote interactive logon, its meaning here, once you are logged into your system using RDP based application or terminal services if you are using. So from your system, example, I logged into my system now. So from my system, if I want to use any RDP connection, so that is called, so remote desktop or remote interactive logon type. So we have to enter the respective machine, either host name or IP address. Then once you are clicking on connect button, so then it will ask username and password. And once clicking on the username, sorry, once you are entering the username and password, so it will ask accept the certificate. So once you have to allow this certificate, then finally you are able to log into the whatever system you are trying to access. So that is about RDP. Okay, so remote desktop interactive logon. So how we can define this one? This is used for RDP based authentication to log into another Windows machine or server. So that is called remote interactive. Next one is a cached interactive, that is type 11. Cached interactive. So anyone can explain what is cached interactive? Or cache, otherwise cache or cache.
RAM memory
Temporary,
storage.
temporary storage.
No. So not temporary storage. So that is temporary storage is a parts of DNS server. That is different. Cache means what? Application cache, server cache. We already discussed about disabled account login attempts failures are coming.
Saved passwords, username.
Yes, saved passwords and username. That's right. Cache meaning here something it is storing. In temporary also storage, correct? So storing something is called normally cache or cache. Okay. So cached interactive meaning here, so storing of the username and password, saved username and passwords. So whatever using saved username, sometimes when you're trying to access Gmail or Facebook, it will ask you a browser. So automatic, okay, so refilling of the username and passwords, right? So that is one type of cache interactive only. But this one is applicable to Windows. We are discussing about not applications. We are discussing about Windows. In Windows also, so backend our domain control, it will save our passwords. So that is called cached interactive. Okay, using saved username and password or credentials, log into the Windows machine. Catch interactive. So disabled account login failure attempts are coming. And also terminated account login attempts are failure are coming. This is one of the use case or one of the scenario. So why normally, example, terminated account. Terminated account meaning here already account is terminated. Disabled account. So our account is disabled. So how this login attempts will come?
Cache.
Anyone? Yeah, using cache or cache. Yes, right. Or cache or cache. So because these username and password, it will store and continuously keep on its communicating to or authenticating to the respective backend domain controller. So example, today your last working day, okay, and you left the company. So what is the Windows admin team normally they will do? So they will disable your account. Not disable, terminate your account. Disable is different, terminate. Disable is for some specific period of the time. But terminated means completely deleting your account. Okay, so in this case, terminated account login attempts failures are coming, or disabled account login attempts are failure. So example, continuously you are typing more than 3 or 4 attempts, account will be disabled or account will be locked out. So, but even though from that particular account or terminated account, so even though you completed your last working day, still login attempts are coming from your system. In that scenario, which type on logon type it will work out? What the type logon type in that scenario?
11.
Yeah, type 11, cached interactive. You have to say all these. So this is one of the interview question as well. So from the disabled account, how the login attempt failures are coming? Or disabled account, how these login attempts failure are coming? Or terminated account, how these login attempts are failing? Using Windows type 11 logon type that is called cached or cache interactive logon type. So because our credentials will be stored in the respect to domain controller, and the domain controller keep on communicating to the centralized authentication authorization server. So backend type 11 logon type, it will be generated using collector agent method. These logs will go to SIM tool, and whatever correlation rule we created for the disabled account login attempts failure or terminated account login attempts failure are coming. It will hit those correlation rule or use cases. Finally, it will generate the alert notification in the SIM tool. Okay, so that's why whenever any employee is leaving from the company, we have to remove the cache as well. Okay, so these are all the different logon types. It's one of the popular interview question also. Okay, type 2, type 3, type 4, but you no need to remember type wise, but at least you can remember the type name. So this type number. So this type name. Next one, description. So these are all the logon types. So these many logons we will use regularly, and our Active Directory or domain controller logs if you are integrating. So whenever you are doing your work regularly, so these logon types, it will go to the respective SIM tool, and even it will provide the type name also. Okay, so first one is interactive, remaining all other, it's like a non-interactive. Till here is non-interactive. So meaning here, it's a category, basically, mainly category. So mainly in the Azure Active Directory, if are going, nothing but cloud-based Microsoft, only 2 classification they have done. In the Microsoft Azure Cloud Active Directory, only 2 classification they have done. One is interactive logon type. Second one is non-interactive logon type. Interactive logon type like a type 2, type 10, and also type 11. Remaining all are like a non-interactive. Okay. So all these things normally will be done and configured by Windows admin team or sysadmin team or Active Directory team. They are aware of all these. Okay. So that is about overall log on types. So what are the different types of Windows logs normally we will see? Windows logs types.
Log on successful, log on fail.
Only these two. See, Windows logon types are different. Windows log classification or Windows log types are different. What are the different types? Windows log types we will see. Otherwise, Linux log types we will see. Or firewall log types we will see. We discussed Windows log types.
So system logs, audit logs.
System logs. Audit
Application
logs.
Application logs, security logs,
Application logs.
security logs,
Endpoint
setup
logs,
logs,
proxy
Security
logs,
logs.
endpoint
setup
logs,
logs,
Endpoints logs. No.
setup.
Forwarded events. So these are all the 5 classification. So where we can see our logs under the event viewer. Under the event viewer, we can see these classification of the logs. So types of the Windows log, entire question. This is also entire question. What are the different types of Windows log types we have? Log on types are different. Log types are different. So whenever you are, if you have any query, you can ask back to the interview. Are expecting log on types or general log types? Okay. So if I see only one word is different, on log types. Here only one on is different. Okay. Even this is applicable. What about Linux? What are the different types of Linux logon types? Linux log types. And where we can see the logs in the Linux server? What is the path or partition? So normally we will see logs in the Linux server. So that path also we have to remember. So one is star. Star is nothing but all logs. So second one is slash var slash log. Okay, that is one of the path. Next one is a slash var slash log slash httpd. Next one is slash var slash log slash esshd. So these are all the different types of partitions of the logs. Normally it will store. So all logs will store part of star. So normal logs will store under the part of log. HTTPD. Anyone can say what is HTTPD? HTTP means application, guys. HTTP means application related logs. What about SSHD? SSHD.
Login to Linux server.
Yes. Password based authentication logins. Nothing but authentication successful and authentication failure. I can say Linux audit logs. So a couple of times they will ask, what do you know about Windows Server and what do you know about Linux Server? What is the answer will you know? Will you give? Couple of times in the interview, what do you know about Windows servers? What do you know about Linux server? What is the answer?
Linux was a more secure.
Okay, Linux was more secure.
No need to reboot.
Okay. But where you are using it in your roles and responsibilities wise, that's what they are expecting from your side. So in my roles and responsibilities, in my job duties side, so Windows Server logs, normally I will integrate using collectorized method to SIM tool from respect to Windows Server. I have knowledge on, otherwise you have to say in this way. I have knowledge on Windows Server logs integration to SIM tool, Linux server logs integration SIM tool using the collector agent method. So normally Windows log types, we will integrate system, audit, application security, and forwarded events. On the Linux side, we'll integrate /var/log/var log httpd /wag/log sshd. So these are the paths of the logs we will integrate to the SIM tool. Additionally, even I do have experience on the hardening side. So because I worked on the vulnerability assessment for 1 year time period, I know, so what are the different types of hardening benchmark will be used by Windows servers as well as Linux servers. So example, so network partition, so auditing related. So next one is a partition related, logging and monitoring related. So total 225 compliances as initial configuration, we will configure under the Windows servers and Linux servers. So this much knowledge I have on the respect to Windows and Linux. In case if any support is required, I will contact the Windows and server team by raising a separate ticket with the respective Windows team and Linux team. And that's what you have to say. Couple of times you will receive the patch updates calls as well, but don't accept those type of vacancies. Don't apply first of all. Is it clear how much knowledge you have on the Windows servers and Linux servers? This is what you have to explain. So whatever you are doing in our current job roles and responsibilities, they are expecting. Okay. So that is about Windows log types, Linux log types, and so on. Can you give firewall log types? What are the different types of firewall log types we have? Firewall log types. Firewall log types. You played more than a week. Fortinet firewall.
Access log, edit logs, system logs.
Yes, one is obviously, see, remember guys, whenever these type of questions they will ask, so you have to think logic always. It's not like, okay, sir did not teach in the class. It's not like that. So for every device, obviously audit logs are a mandatory. When you say audit, it's nothing but login successful and login failure. Don't you think that firewall doesn't have the login failure and login success? So firewall also, if you are forgetting the password, login failure will come in the firewall device. And also login success means you are entering the correct username and password. Example, take a scenario, FortiGate demo firewall is there. Instead of demo username and demo password, you are providing the admin username and admin password. So it's like a failure of the log into firewall, correct? That is nothing but audit related log. Okay. So in the similar way, so system or configuration related logs. System meaning here, health checkup related logs. What is the firewall health checkup? Whether it is reaching to the 70% or 80% or 90% or 100% of the data plane and control plane. Every device, even including your laptop or MacBook and servers, and every device normally we has two types of planes. One is data plane, one is control plane. So data plane is a dedicated applicable to what type of data we are storing and what are the configurations we are doing. So that is called data plane. And control plane is applicable to what type of health checkup. So what is the health checkup percentage it is reaching out of 100%. That is called control plane. This is applicable to not only server. So it's applicable to every device. So that is called system related, nothing but health checkup related logs. Next one, configuration related logs. Obviously in the firewall also, we will do the configurations. Like example, creating the policies and objectives, creating the security profiles, creating the rules from top to down approach or top to bottom approach. And so finally, those security profiles will implement in the respective policies tab, creating the interfaces. Okay, creating the trust zone or untrust zone and destination zone and source zone and the destination zone and so on. creating high availability. All this is the configuration related logs. So even malware category of the logs also we will see, because firewall will monitor inbound and outbound traffic, and also it can provide the, okay, whenever any file is going as a transit level, that may be driver downloads or phishing email attachment, or maybe through the, even through pen drives and so on, this activity can be captured in the firewall. So malware related logs also we can see, application control logs we will see, nothing but whenever the user is trying to access the any websites. So IDS, IPS related logs, we will see any abnormal or malicious or suspicious activity. And also finally, Wi-Fi related monitoring logs also. Nothing but these are the features of the respective firewall. So this is the way I had explained. Audit and system and configuration is common for including cloud also. Okay. In Sophos EDR, what we have seen? Anyone? Sophos EDR tool, what are the different types of logs we have seen? Under the general settings, part of administration. One is Sophos EDR audit logs, nothing but whoever is logging into the Sophos EDR tool as a Sophos Central. Okay, so username and password related successful and failure. Second one is a configuration. Third one is a malware category of the logs, and finally system related logs. Because EDR tool will provide the malware category of the logs. So that is about how we have to give in the, how we have to give the answer. Okay, how we can provide security to Linux server? So maybe evening what we will do, either correlation use cases or maybe ServiceNow and Wireshark we can see. ServiceNow or Wireshark, I will go and I will register ServiceNow tool now. So using open source, so 30 days free trial version is there. I have to deploy instance. Unfortunately, last time when I'm deploying, it is showing some error. But let's see whether it will work out or not today. And also Wireshark. In case ServiceNow is still showing some of the error, then we can go and we can discuss about correlation use cases, correlation rule or use cases. Okay, so I have a couple of questions now. How can we provide security to Linux server? It's one of the interview question. How can we provide security to Linux server? Anyone?
Updating the server.
Regular updates.
Regular updates, nothing but vulnerability patch updates. That is one thing. Any other?
Creating a new privileged user accounts.
Creating a role-based access control using identity and access management based on the roles and responsibilities wise. Any other?
Complex credentials.
Complex credentials using strong passwords.
And using a SSH.
Using SSH, nothing but login. Yeah, using SSH.
Installing firewall.
Installing firewall in the Linux.
Enable a firewall.
Yes. So IP tables configuration. So in Linux server, we will configure IP tables. What is meant by IP tables? So we will do the block listing of the traffic and white listing of the traffic. Block listing meaning here, so from which IPs we have to block the traffic. White listing meaning here what are the business IPs we have to accept it. So IP tables also we will configure. Okay, additional. So far what you said, one is identity and access management, role-based access control in the Linux server. Second one is strong passwords. Third one is a regular vulnerability patch updates. Is there any additional one?
DLP, sir.
DLP, data loss or data leak prevention in the Linux server. Okay.
And removing the unused network facing service.
Sorry.
Removing the unused network facing services.
Removing the unused libraries or packages. Okay, perfect. Any other? Couple of things already whatever we discussed so far entire course, you are not saying.
Multi-factor
login
authentication.
and auditing. Integrate
Yeah.
to simple.
Yes, yes. Integrating the logging and monitoring part. Whatever logs are generated in the Linux server, those logs we have integrated to SIEM-Tool. That's perfect. So somebody said multi-factor authentication. So how we can do multi-factor authentication in the Linux server? You are right. You are right. What is the multi-factor authentication mechanism in Linux server?
Using SSH.
Using
Private
SSH
key.
only. Yes, private key we have to use. That's correct. So after entering the username and password, so if you want to provide the more secure way of communication to log into the server, so we have to generate one private key. Normally this key will be generated by the respective Linux admin guy. So example, you are security guy and I am Linux guy. So you want to access to the Linux as well, even though you are security person. In that scenario, what I will do, I will create one of the account with your name and I will provide password to you. And also I will generate one of the PEM file and I will give one key to you. Whenever you want to try to access the Linux server, so after entering the username and password, even you have to specify the private key as well. So that is called multi-factor authentication in the Linux server side. So one more thing you forgot, important one. So far, how many things we discussed? One is multi-factor authentication, logging and monitoring logs we have to integrate to SIEM-Tool, role-based access control with identity and access management, unused libraries or packages we have to remove. Okay. So what else? Strong
Implement
passwords.
hardening benchmark.
Yes, perfect. Implement hardening benchmark. Sys benchmark we have to implement so that it will reduce the attack vector and attack surface. Okay, you know the answer, but problem here is if they will ask in the sudden manner, so you can't give the answer properly. So these are all the ways how we can secure the Linux server. It's one of the interview question. It's applicable to Windows Server as well, not on Linux. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today morning class. I forgot to show something to you. So just now I uploaded this one, cyber security and attacks. It's a document basically, but don't study each and every page. It's a high vocabulary. Please go through my notes, whatever I provided to you. So I provided all these 80 pages information. Please don't go all these entire information. These attacks records are there, attacks are there, and comments are there. Okay. So these attacks, forget about these attacks. Just you can remember this one. Even this one of the interview question, guys. OSA layer wise, what are the different types of attacks? Each and every layer, what type of attack it will come. You have to remember this one also. Okay. So this important one. This screenshot is very important. Okay. OS top 10. First three is OS top 10, you can say. Under transport level, you can say, so flooding category of the attacks. In the network level, you can say spoofing as well as flooding once again. Data link layer sniffing and flooding, okay, spoofing as well. Physical layer is okay, damaging of the cables. So forget about these in-depth analysis. And please go through these attacks also. Okay, so I think I did not cover all those because I created long back this one. So I think around 30 to 35 attacks are there. Please go through all these attacks. And these are all the tools. What are the different types of famous tools are available in the market? So antivirus, DLP, encryption, host IDS, firewall, IDS, IPS, SIEM-Tool, vulnerability assessment, and pen test. I provided for everything, email gateway, web gateway, cloud security tools as well. So normally every organization, what are the different types will use? Investigation tools, what we have to use regularly. And Windows logon types. Okay, so we discussed only, I think, Windows login IDs, sorry, not a logon types, Windows login IDs. So every time I'm saying only two, one is 4625 and 4624. But couple of interviews they will expect other than these two, do you know any other 3 or 4? Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So most of the cases, you know, only 2. One is Windows Event ID 4625. Second one is 4624. 4625 is a failure login attempt. 4624 is belongs to successful. Okay, but so some of the interviews other than these two, do you know any additional one? So at least you have to remember, so many are there. So you can remember at least additional 3. Not only just 24 and 25. Clear? Okay, so forget about these system IDs. Okay. Next one, SIM and CI triad. So SIMs, logs and integration parsing, and these are all the questions and diagrams. So main thing what I want to show here, this one when I was teaching in Bangalore, one of the institute. So that time I created this particular document. Yeah, you can see this use cases creation. So use cases so far I provided, I think 5 here. It's related to Exabeam rules. So one is VPN connection from multiple WAN IPs. So yesterday we discussed, right? VPN authentication within short span of time. So many attempts are coming. Logic is here. This is the logic. Okay. So how alert will be generated? So you need to remember everything. So mainly rule expression is very, very important. These rules are completely from Exabeam tool. I will provide, I created separate sheet also. I will show you, give me 1 second. Okay, so these rules are related to Exabeam. So difficult to remember, but what you will do, so whenever you are attending any interview, just you can write in one of the page and you can keep beside and you can explain about this logic. Is it clear? Do you know how to create a correlation rule? It's one of the very favorite interview question. L1 team, don't say I know. I mean, whoever is putting less than 3 years of experience, you can say like, I don't know how to create a correlation rule, but I have idea how to create a correlation rule. But whoever is putting more than 4+, yes, I know how to create a correlation rule. Okay, so this is one of the logic you have to remember. Okay, so next one, this is for abnormal amount of data for organization has been uploaded to a file sharing site. So meaning a large amount of the data you are uploading one of the website. Okay, so for that one logic is this one. Okay, so next one we have ransomware attack.
Sir, in this only role expression we have to explain or
Yeah, only rule expression, logic only they will ask.
Okay.
So which custom correlation rule you created recently?
What is the logic in that?
Yes, that's all. They will not expect for like a what is, so if I will go for interview, Suprita, normally I used to say, I will log into the respective SIM tool. I will go to the admin tab. I will click on the correlation rule option tab. Okay, so before going to that, recently I created one of the correlation rule related to ransomware attack.
Okay.
So then I will explain like, so I will log into the SIM tool. Then I will go to the admin tab. So then I will click, if it is IBM QRadar where normally rules will be configured, which tab?
Offenses tab.
Offenses tab. Offenses tab, that's correct. So offenses tab we have to go to and we have to click on the rules button. So if it is Exabeam tool, it's under admin directly. So I will go to admin tab and I'll click on the correlation rules tab option and I will click on custom correlation rule. Then I will define the rule name, example ransomware attack, rule description, So when the user is accessing the abnormal or malicious or suspicious file pattern behavior of the file, and rule logic. So rule logic is this one. Hash value, ransomware extensions, file underscore extension category, and is a Boolean algebra function, sequence count, and file extension category. Once again, file write. Why file write we have to write here? Why it is not a file read? Why it is a file write? Anyone? What is the difference between read and write?
Write means it can be changed, sir.
Write means it can be changed as well. It will configure, it will be installed. But
Yes,
read means it will not do that. So when the user is, first you should understand what is the category of the attack you are writing a correlation rule. Without understanding the attack, you cannot write the logic.
Sir, yeah, how to read this rule expression? Like hash value, ransomware extension.
Yeah, that's what I said. So first of all, how ransomware attack will come? What are the possible options?
Okay.
Drive by download.
Try by download is one thing, and also through pen drives, and also using phishing email attachment malware downloads, right? So these are the possible options, even using through pen drives as well. So every file contains the hash value, unique number. Okay, and also that malware, if it is installed, it has to write, not should read. So in this scenario, hash value, ransomware underscore extensions. Okay, that may be, so any of the ransomware category of the attacks are coming, like a WannaCry or Petya or maybe Kaseya or maybe Chacha and so on. And file extension that may belongs to any of the file, not only applicable to PDF, not only applicable to .doc, not only applicable to .xl. So file underscore extension means any of the file category. So and Boolean algebra functions, sequence count. So sequence count meaning every hash value has the count of the number using a combination of both characters and numbers. So that number, host underscore file underscore extension, wherever that file is downloaded. Host meaning an end user machine. And also file category of the name, and finally file write. Nothing but once the user is downloaded, it has to write, not should read. And equal to 1. What is mean equal to 1?
Same as ones.
Yeah, same as 1. What is mean by that one? True condition. Successfully malware is, okay, so downloaded and it is installed. So equal to 1, see, we studied in the engineering. So enabling the flag 1, when you are doing MATLABs, EDC, SDLC, not SDLC, sorry, signal processing systems and so on. So enabling the flag 1 and disabling the flag 1. So nothing but enabling means we used to put 1, disabling means 0. Did you remember engineering labs?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Studied engineering. Yeah, sorry, whoever studied engineering. So enabling means 1, disabling means 0. Same thing is applicable to here as well. So equal to 1 is a true condition, nothing but is successfully. So we are using Boolean algebra function as and. So in such a way we have to, so this is the logic we will explain in the interview point of view. So now after creating the use case, what we have to do? So now this use case is successfully working or not. How can you test this one? How can you test this use case is working or not after writing a use case?
Creating a false attack.
Creating a false attack. Perfect. Excellent. Creating false attack. In this scenario, how can you create a false attack? How can you do that? wantedly, I said ICAR website. So otherwise you can download some of the sample of the malwares. And we have testing machine will be there. Right? So either you can disable in your machine antivirus agent. Okay. Otherwise you can go to testing machine or testing desktop or testing virtual machine in which a pandemic situation now. In that scenario, wantedly you can download one of the malware file from the website. But that wherever you are downloading the file, that machine does not contain antivirus agent. Why it should not contain antivirus agent? Wherever you are downloading the antivirus file. Why it should not contain antivirus agent? Why we have to go to the...
That file does not contain any virus.
Yes. If antivirus agent is there, it will block it automatically. That's why. But how we can test this particular alert notification? So even if our antivirus agent also there, fine, that's okay, it will work out. So once you are downloading the file, example, ICAR, I told you already. What is ICAR?
Some malicious
testing of the antivirus file. You can see download anti-malware test files. It's one of the European organization. Normally they will create a samples of the malwares. Not only this one ICAR, it's one of the entire question also. How can you test malwares, whether your system is working or not? It's the European Institute for Computer Antivirus Research Institute. So then you can go to the respective, so ICAR website. And this is the antivirus files. So ICAR, icar.com txt, icar.com zip, zip file. So these are all the files. Don't download in your system. If you are downloading in your system, if you don't have the antivirus agent, your system will get compromised because these are all the antivirus files. Okay. So now once you are creating the use case in the SIEM tool, now you have to download these files, these logs using syslog server method or API token management method. It will go to SIEM tool. Already we created a correlation rule or building blocks using test cases. It has to generate the alert notification. So in case alert is not generating, what will you do? Okay, you downloaded this file. So then, okay, false attack you have done. So now whether this test case is working or not, you have to validate. Whatever use cases you have defined. So it's fine, but use case is right. But unfortunately, alert is not generating. What will you do? How can you troubleshoot? In this scenario, first of all, logs are going to SIEM tool or not, we have to validate. Wherever testing machine, yes. Wherever testing machine or EDR logs are going to SIEM tool or not, you have to validate. So once logs are going and is hitting this particular rule or correlation or use case, then alert, once it is generated, then you have to raise a change request and you have to implement in the production environment of the SIEM tool. This is the process we have to follow. So directly we cannot go and we cannot create a correlation rule in the production environment of the SIEM tool. So first you have to write in the testing environment, that is called building blocks in IBM QRadar. Once it is working successfully, then we have to write a change request. You know already why we will write a change request. If something configuration related, anything if you are implementing, so that time itself I told you firewall upgrade, vulnerability patch updates, okay, even correlation rule creation in the SIEM tool. So these are all the configuration oriented. So for anything we have to, these type of things you have to write the use case, change request. Once you are raising a change request, you have to take a approval from the CAB director. Once CAB director is providing the CAB approval, we have to implement that one in the production environment. This is the normal process as per ITIL we discussed already. Change management process. All these process you have to explain in the interview. Not only just creating use case and close it. So you have to test that use case. I will test that use case whether it is working or not. So then I will raise a change request and I will take approval from the cab director, and after the cab approval, I will implement in the production environment of the SIM tool. This is what you have to say. How can you test brute force attack? How can you test brute force attack? After writing a brute force attack, within 1 minute of the time period, so 5 attempts should be generated automatically. 5 attempts is coming, the alert should be generated automatically. So how can you test this use case? Or pulse attack?
Sir, we have to take the type P.
So wantedly you can generate. So wantedly you can enter the wrong password 10 times from testing machine or your machine directly. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So example, brute force attack, you remember, brute force attack, you created use case. So how can you test that particular use case or correlation rule? So first of all, you should know what is meant by brute force attack. Multiple authentication login failure attempts. How can we do multiple authentication login failure attempts? By entering the wrong password.
Wrong passwords and wrong username.
Yes. Then logs will go to domain controller to SIM tool using collect agent. Then whatever rule we configured, it will hit that particular rule and alert will be generated. Once the alert is successful, then we have to raise a change request and we have to implement in the prod environment after taking the cab approval. So in such a way, I provided 5 use cases here. This is dedicated to IBM QRadar, sorry, Exabeam tool, but I will provide IBM QRadar use cases as well. Abnormal amount of data written into USB. It's like a data loss or a data leak prevention. So much of the data copied through pen drive. It's one type of data breach, correct? DLP, data loss. So next one is abnormal number of accessed host per user. So many number of the host is accessed by the attacker. Like a lateral movement. So I'm creating one more. So please go through this entire material and you can let me know if you have any questions. And even I provided these SOPs also. Some of the people are asking, right? So how can you create SOP, standard operating procedure document, or playbooks or run books? Right? This is the process basically. Even though I took, risk and I uploaded all these. So what is the investigation here? Malware outbreak procedure, nothing but malware investigation. Purpose of the attack investigation. What is the process? What is tier 1? Tier 1 is nothing but what? Tier 1, level 1, L1 team. What is L1 team will do? This is logarithm tool investigation. This logarithm tool. This is also you can explain the entire point of view. Not only just whatever we discussed, 8 to 9 are there. This is one of the malware investigation. Okay, this is a tier 1 and also tier 2, and this is tier 2 and tier 3. What exactly level 1 and level 2 and level 3 will do. So like this SOPs will be there, but when you're going for the interview, they'll expect more than L3. That is the problem. So everywhere segregation. What exactly L1 team will do, what L2 team will do, what L3 team will do. Now it's clear, right? What exactly L1 team is doing. Identifying the false positive and true positive, that's all. And L2 team instant response. And L3 team is escalation priority 1 tickets. It's a clear cut, we have everything. But even though they will expect interview as L3 level. So they need, if are paying 50,000 rupees to you as a salary, they'll expect 1 crore profit from you. It's a truth. That's what these companies will work out. Okay, even interviews also like that only. Even though they are recruiting for L1 level, interview is like more than L3. So, but this is the basically SOPs will be there. That's what I said several times. Cracking the interview is difficult, but after joining a company, our job is so easy. Okay, so please go through this one also. So even I provided additional document symmetric and asymmetric and so on. OS top 10 attacks. So that time I used to teach Palo Alto that time, but now I given FortiGate because that time my friend has a Palo Alto firewall. So I provided Palo Alto tabs here. So these are the Palo Alto tabs. In the FortiGate firewall, we can see vertical way, but in the, FortiGate, we can see column wise, but in the Palo Alto, we can see horizontal way. The tabs, dashboard, ACC command and control, application command and control, monitor, policies, objectives, network, and device. Okay, so this is the monitor tab. Most of our job is located here only. Filtering option in FortiGate firewall, where we can see monitoring tab option, forward traffic option.
In logs and reports.
Yes, logs and reports, that's perfect. So firewall logs integration, where we can integrate syslog server configuration, this one. I already provide notes also. Firewall logs integration using syslog server method. We have to log into the firewall. We have to go to syslog server option. We have to provide the SM tool name, IP address, host name, port number 514, and log format. This is that time I used to teach silent CDR. So anyway, I changed the company. Now it's a Sophos CDR tool I have shown. So this is completely Nessus tool. What are the different types of tabs and where we have to go to Nessus tool? This is also provided. Please go through this one also. So that time I used to teach Exabeam. Okay, this Exabeam, tabs. Okay. Yeah, please go through this one as well. Not about just by hatting something, notes, whatever I provided. So this tool name is, document name is cybersecurity and attacks. Okay, so sorry, it's got extended more than half an hour. So we can discuss evening. So do you have any questions?
Sir, can you please check that VPN?
Yes. Do you have access to Azam, do you have access to edit option?
Not really, sir. Yeah, I don't have
fine.
that.
Yeah, I will change that one.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
So out of so many people, only one person is identified. Whatever I have done typo error, it's a part of VPN authentication failure. That is Azam. I provided brute force attack instead of VPN authentication fail. Heading I provided correct, but so
yes,
in
sir,
the
that
yes,
you are not changed. I found that.
Yes, yeah. So I will update Azam that one.
Fine, sir. All right, thank you.
Yeah, so that's all, guys. We can discuss evening, and class will be there around 6:30 or 6 o'clock. So give me 1 second. I will check calendar right now. Yeah, 6 o'clock class will be there. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.